and welcome to this episode of the Performance Cafe. So you will see from my Christmas decorations that it is Christmas time. And, I don't think we can say the word Christmas or festive season without hearing that song. It's the most wonderful time of the year, which might I remind you is why I don't get paid to sing for a living. And unfortunately today, I must break away from festivities and celebrations because there's a topic I'd like us to talk about that I think is becoming more and more prevalent as COVID keeps on staying with us. And it does feel like we might never get rid of it at this rate. We are all in the fourth wave right now. Pretty much the whole world, I think, is stuck in the middle of it. And I think people are I know people are over COVID. People are over being ill. People are over the bad news. People are over wearing masks. And I think managers are over having to have to put up with the emotional load that this adds to the business. But I wanted to let you know that unfortunately, this is not the most wonderful time of the year for many people. And the reason for that is because I don't think we've gotten to a point with grief where we could consider it as good. There's nothing like good grief, and especially not in the business context. Now, a lot of you will know that I often preach about the impact of the Industrial Revolution on employees' lives and how dehumanized labor became because of it. So traditionally, even nowadays, we find that we're not really dealing with emotions in the business context. We aren't really allowing and showing managers how to deal with someone who is grieving at the office. Now, the reason why that's particularly relevant right now is because traditionally managers have always had to deal with one or two individuals who had lost loved ones during the year. And trust me, as one of many people who have lost a loved one, Christmas is then always a little bit of a bittersweet occasion. And sometimes, especially just after the loss and it's the first Christmas, it's more bitter than sweet. Now, because of COVID, it's turned the world inside out because now we're not dealing with that one or two people that lost someone. We're actually dealing with colleagues who have lost colleagues. The other day I walked into one of our government departments and they said, we've lost 20 people to COVID this year. It's ridiculous. It's like the entire team is in grief. And yet we are not assisting people on how do we deal with grief in business. So, I sort of feel like maybe we should write the 3 tips to dealing with grief in business handbook. I sort of feel like that could be really useful right now because managers are still in the place where they're dealing with, productive kindness. How am I kind to people who are grieving, who are going through this? How do I do this now that my entire team is affected by colleagues, passing away because of COVID or being very ill or being disabled because of it? Some people take particularly long to recover and recuperate. How do I deal with this grief in the business environment? And I've had a couple of brushes with grief, and over the past couple of years, there are things that I think we could consider in business that might make this time slightly easier. Firstly, can we please take a look at Christmas and year-end functions? It's been a really hectic year. Not only are people grieving for loved ones that have passed away or colleagues that have passed away, but they might also be in a state of stress because there wasn't money for an increase. There wasn't money for bonuses. And yet we see that with COVID, because of certain problems with supply and demand, food has gotten enormously expensive. So this has placed a different kind of strain, which also adds to the situation. So what if this year, instead of having a big boozy lunch or whatever the case may be, we'd rather give people a little voucher that they could go and share with their families. Plus, it's going to make a lot of people feel better because they might not be in a very festive spirit. And some people actually feel guilty when someone has passed for if they go have, enjoy themselves. I'm not supporting that approach, but it might still be too new and too fresh for them to really be able to embrace it. Next, give those that are grieving some slack. That's what you'd want someone to do for you, even if this is not necessarily how we do this in business. And here we come back to productive kindness. We know people in grief go through separate phases, and it takes a while for them to do their work. But take that into account. And if you feel that this is becoming too much of a burden on the team or on yourself, and here I don't burden negatively, it's just that some people are more comfortable dealing with others. Remember, there are HR structures and HR consultants that are there to support you. I'm thinking life coaches. I'm thinking in your HR, there would be a well-being department, so a wellness department, or at least someone who takes care of that. Go and speak with them and see if you can get that individual who's in grief. If you can get them support, and if you can get them a counselor, a therapist, a coach, whatever they need to get through what they're going through. And lastly, I don't know how to tell you this, but actually grief is not contagious. I think many people in many society cultures weren't actually ever taught how to deal with grief in general. And I want to tell you, grief is not contagious. So take time, sit with that person, listen to their grief. You don't have to say anything. They need to talk more than what they need someone to give them an answer. I know it's very awkward. We always say it's like, oh, sorry for your loss. It's not that we don't mean it, but it feels so hollow. So don't say it. Just say to them, who was this person? What did they mean to you? What's your favorite memory about them? I know that a lot of people don't want to have that conversation because they're scared they're going to upset the griever. They're going to open the wound. Trust me, that wound is open always. See you at the next Performance Cafe.